You're listening to The Starting Block on tavshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. We got Muted Word of the Week. We got Dick Moves. We got any Vax adverts. We've got new Vax. All that and much more here on the block.
Standing tall on the wings of my dream. Rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Rain and thunder, the wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream, nothing's gonna stop me now.
It's Greeno here from the Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok, and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is tavshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. I've got myself Greeno and I'm joined by a man who's been waiting patiently while I sat there and just listened to a whole bunch of songs that were released 30 years ago.
Yeah.
While he was asking if I was there. My co-captain Damo, how are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Good evening to you, boys, girls, listenership, blockheads, millions around the world. Yeah, 30 years ago is an interesting thought. It's something I've been thinking about a lot since the baby BoogieBumper baby came along.
Mm-hmm.
It's that you know, when we were kids, we would hear stories about the 60s and the 70s, and we go, fuck off, who cares? That's ancient history. No
So
one cares about
long
this.
ago. Yeah.
Yet in my mind, I'm still living in the 90s, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm probably doing the same. I haven't listened to any music that's come out since 1997, I don't think.
No need. You haven't missed anything.
No need, you know. When I think of like my favorite, like kind of, you know, you and I were big into sports growing up, Greeno. When I think about all of my favorite sporting moments, most of them are back then as well. You know,
1994.
1994, 1992. There's a lot of good stuff happened in the 90s. So yeah. I wish we could go back, you know.
We say that now, but then in the time, in the moment, not that great. Everything's better in retrospect. Everything's
not everything. Well, yes, you're right. World War II and the rise of Hitler, obviously, are very well loved in retrospect.
Much better. Yeah.
Crusades, the Black Plague, Greeno.
Much better.
Much better. Yeah.
Spanish flu shat on coronavirus.
It really did. It was a go-getter, wasn't it? The Spanish flu really knocked people off in a brutal. You gotta respect the virus like that, you know.
Did what a plague's meant to do.
Yeah, it was none of this. Oh, you're gonna lose your sense of taste for a couple of months, or you know, that kind of thing. It was like, no, we're gonna wipe out your whole family like tomorrow. Done.
That's it. Good luck with that. Hope you got insurance.
Gone.
Yeah.
Now, the Spanish flu wasn't even as good as the plague. The plague actually like conquers all, I think. You know, the plague is the Don Bradman
of thing here.
It's the Don Bradman of viruses, Greeno.
The Don Bradman is the plague, correct?
Yeah, it's got a batting average of 99. Yeah. You know what I mean? Only a small amount survived, and that's the duck at the end of the plague career. You know,
spot on.
Yeah, so high marks to reach, high water marks to reach, but. You know, just like the plague, Greeno, science at the time, doctors at the time believed that you could cure the plague by doing things like carrying a certain kind of flour in your pocket. You know, that was going to protect you. Wouldn't you have to draw like in blood with something on the door or something to ward off the evil spirits? You know, because God was angry with you, obviously. That's why the plague was ripping rampant. And here we are in 2023, just a mere 30 years after the 90s. And Australian garlic kills COVID-19, Greeno. Isn't that nice to know? Well done. How many millions have we spent on research trying to combat this thing? And all
turns out.
You know, the interesting part for me above all else is like specifically Australian garlic.
Australian garlic. I mean, it's written by an Australian paper.
Well,
and it's the Doherty Institute is an Australian institute, I'm assuming?
No, it's the Doherty Institute, Greeno. Now, I don't know who the Doherty Institute is, but what I do want to know is, do they have any board members who also happen to work for a garlic company?
Nice. Well, that was. I had a couple of thoughts on this, Damo. Okay. Now, my first thought was good news.
Good news.
COVID is now eradicated in Italy.
Is it really?
And Malta. Because
well done. Got me.
Yeah, so those two covered. They're done. Yeah. COVID zero. My second thought was, look, this seems great. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing.
Well, no, it's not. Hey, no, it's not cured in Italy because they would have Italian garlic, Greeno, which is obviously inferior when it comes to fighting viruses.
To Australian garlic.
But it's Australian garlic only, remember?
Only Australian garlic. This also did raise a little suspicion on my behalf.
Yeah.
Is this a bit of propaganda from Big Garlic?
Big Garlic.
Like the machine that is Big Garlic is trying to convince us.
Trying to muscle in on the pharmaceutical game.
It's just like, hey man, well, how many of your garlic jabs have you had? Well, I had 6 carbonaras and souvlaki. Like, I'm dosed up. Like, I'm all good.
I just got a deep fried souvlaki, man. We are fucking rocking home tonight. I love the idea though, Greeno, of, you know, Big Pharma versus Big Garlic. Choose your fighter.
The title of the show was going to be Big Garlic, but I'm like, it's going to fucking ruin my punchline. So fuck it.
Well, that'll be the title of next week's show. Yeah, that's right. Big Pharma versus Big Garlic.
Big Garlic. The
face off. The face off to end civilization. Who's going to win?
Just a big, like, and the big boardroom of just like dudes with mustaches and like garlic chains.
No, I reckon you have on one side, you have like the stereotypical kind of lawyer types in their suits and stuff. They're representing Big Pharma. And then Big Garlic is like guys in overalls. Like holding a pitchfork.
With like a necklace made of nothing but garlic bulbs.
Yes. Well, they are fucking, some people have argued in the past, the pharmaceutical industry are vampires. So, I guess you've got to go in armed with the right fucking tools, don't you?
Australian garlic.
Australian garlic cures COVID-19, kills vampires.
Could I do a quick story time to piggyback off this
Sure.
one?
I like stories about pinatas.
Daryl in the chat, by the way, says, trust the science, guys.
I've got to trust science. Like, if the science says put more garlic in it, I'm fucking down.
I am down. I like
down.
myself some garlic. Now, can I ask, what if I buy Australian? Because I'm a big fan of your garlic flakes and your granulated garlic and stuff. In I'm a big fan of my herbs and spices, Greeno.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it like a big chunky granulated garlic to throw into stuff. Now, will that also provide me with the protection against COVID-19?
As long as the strain made, I think we're going to be all good.
Well, but is it diluted? The virus killing effects of the garlic if I have it in dried, granulated form.
Personally,
reactivate
as an expert in this area, I'd probably recommend
fresh garlic.
doubling your dosage for a granulated.
Yep.
Actually, probably triple it for a granulated.
Triple it, yeah. Better be safe. Yeah.
And double it for a minced.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because what if I'm
minced
after?
garlic?
Yeah. Because what if I'm only coming in for my 6-month garlic booster, Greeno?
If you're going in for your 6-month garlic booster, that one I'd probably recommend personally going a fresh garlic, maybe a chopped.
It'll be a welcome change, won't it? Instead of having to scan in with our phone or show our Vax pass, we'll just have to breathe on someone's face and they'll go, "Yeah, it smells like garlic." Stinky breath.
And the good thing is the people that will resist the garlic jab will only be the people that have like an upset stomach.
Yes, that's right. And we don't want them in the restaurants to begin with anyway, because they're usually farting and making all sorts of awful noises at the dinner table. So
exactly,
it's about time we lock them out. Got to keep ourselves safe, Greeno, don't we? The garlic-loving community.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So story time. Been a rough week, or rough fortnight, really. So we missed last week's show. Now, to piggyback off the last show we did, I made the mistake of going into work for the first time in 5 months to catch up with my boss and all good. Now, off the back of that, got ill, lost my voice for a week, completely blew out my voice one day in the office.
Yeah.
Picked up a bit of a head cold, nothing major, no biggie.
Little man flu, Greeno, as the women would say.
Not so much man flu, because I still did everything. It's just I couldn't talk, which is not really conducive to the podcast format.
No.
Now, many may say this program would be better if I spoke less.
Yeah.
But we chose
myself
to nip
included.
we chose to nip last week's show in the bud just to be safe.
Yeah.
On the back of that, we missed the Lunch of Legends.
Yeah.
Because Greeno, too snotty, too ill, and still couldn't speak. Like, once again, not much of a gracious host if I can't.
I like stories about pinatas.
I'm just going to have to interrupt your story there, and I'm going to piggyback on your story and open
I
up.
like stories about pinatas.
Now, we did have the Lunch of Legends scheduled for last week, and it was
Lunch
called
of Legends
off.
Extended Edition.
Yeah, yes. Well, now, you see, because we're like Super Rugby. So we've gone from the regular rugby, Super Rugby tournament, and it's like, you know what? Let's go and see what Argentina's doing. Let's pop in Argentina.
Yeah, let's bring him in.
So the former opening batsman, opening bowler of the St. Clair Hawks under-12Bs, Greeno, Joel Stasinowski, he's now the Argentina in our Super Rugby. So now they're involved in the Lunch of Legends, the Stazza clan. And, yeah, we were all set and primed to go this weekend. Greeno called it in late, and that's okay, fair enough, no problem. I don't want to be there if you're sick and coughing and spluttering on everyone either.
You just got the BoogieBumper baby just back to full health. So I'm not going to fuck that up.
No, yeah, but she's going to daycare these days, so she'll probably have COVID.
She'll be sick next week.
Luckily for her, we eat lots of garlic here.
There we
so
go.
She should be safe.
Australian garlic?
Yeah. Oh, of course. What other one would I use? Italian garlic? Please. Italy's full of vampires. It's obviously terrible. So we called it off, and it was left to the ladies, the Lady Greeno and the Lady Boogs Greeno, to come up with a contingency plan. All right, let's reorganize. We'll fall back to our positions. We'll reorganize, recalculate, and then we'll come up with another date. Yeah. And now there was some discussion going around, different dates going around here and there. About a month ago, Greeno revealed on this show in a story time his story about his little abdomen issue with the hernias, Greeno. And, very comically, he thought his belly was getting bigger, so he was working out extra hard, which made the problem actually worse. Things are just getting worse.
Turns out now 2 hernias and 2 ab tears. That's how you roll.
Correct. Now, we also I think we can reveal what the Lunch of Legends plan was at this point, because it didn't happen. It's after the event. So the plan was Greeno was going to make us nachos, but like nachos with a twist, a little personal touch added to it. And
Not just your shitty, average, everyday nachos.
No.
This shit is like chef-level nachos.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
A different array of toppings at your disposal. Pick, mix and match, do what you want, go back for seconds, try something else. He really does put on a good show food-wise, Greeno, the old Greeno. And, I was very much looking forward to this. I'm more of a taco guy myself, I guess. Maybe I'm more of a burrito guy than I am a taco guy. Okay. I'm more of a taco guy. Actually, no, I'm probably more of a nacho guy. So, I was looking forward to the nachos. And so that was very unfortunate. Now, of course, when we're trying to rearrange a new weekend and, nachos are on the cards, I'm like, well, let's get this done as soon as possible. Let's book this in because the nachos can still go ahead. We can still have this on. So let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Now, I was informed through, various sources that we actually have to put off the Lunch of Legends for an extended period.
You dick!
Reason being because you are going in for surgery for your hernia situation.
Well, that's right. That's part of...
Weeks after the proposed first Lunch of Legends rematch would have taken place.
Correct.
Now this is going to need some kind of explanation. Now, you're a tough guy. I have worked with guys who got hernia operations and then were like back the next day throwing garbage bins into the backs of trucks. Right? Stitches, bleeding, pissing all over the place. Now, you're not having nachos before this abdomen surgery. So not even after the surgery. We're not even talking about the recovery period. We're talking about the pre-surgery period, which then leads me to my next point. Are your nachos so fucking awful that you yourself cannot consume them weeks before abdomen surgery, Greeno? What's going on here with the fucking nachos? Tell me.
All right, so with the nachos...
Why can't we do this?
The nachos in general are a moot point when it comes to the rescheduling of the Lunch of Legends. So yes, story time from last week's show that would have been in there.
I
if
like
I had
stories about pinatas.
Was ducked on down, got into my specialist early, which was convenient.
So you could wait extra hour?
No, as in like the appointment was booked for like 5 weeks away. There was a cancellation, was able to get in early. So get on in there. He prods around. He's like, "Does that hurt?" I'm like, "Yeah, man." Like, that fucking really hurts.
Of course, that's why I'm fucking here, you moron.
And I'm like, I literally said to him, I'm like, "Fuck, man, that hurts."
And then, he said, "Rub some garlic on it. You'll be fine."
Put some garlic on it, you're good to go. And he's like, "How about there?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, that fucking hurts too." So he's like, "Yeah, look, recommend," he goes, "We've got 2 options here with this particular surgery. We do one that's kind of like generally pretty, not too invasive. You're kind of in the ballpark of that one. Or this other one, it's fucking like we got to put mesh behind your abdomen and fucking cut in through the side and put some shit there, and we're going to let scar tissue reheal behind your abdomen, and you can't do fucking anything for 6 weeks." And he's like, "So which one do you want?" And I'm like, "Well, I want the first one." Because the second one sounds terrible.
Doesn't sound very good, yeah.
But
why is it even an option? I feel like the second one should be, well, we've got no choice but to do this.
Well, but that's
second
the thing.
One.
He's like,
why are they giving you a choice?
Well, but I'm like, well, the fact that you're borderline for number one makes me think that's like the cheapo version, and I'm going to be back here in like 6 weeks to get the second one done anyway. I'd probably recommend the second one. And he's like, "Well, that's what I would have recommended." I'm like, "Why didn't you fucking just tell me that?" So he's like, "Yeah, that's what I would recommend anyway. It's going to be more long-term, blah, blah, blah."
Look, I'd love to recommend the second one, but Big Garlic has been here.
Well, no, he was giving me options. He wanted to make me feel like it was my choice to go with this fucking very invasive surgery where now I can't do shit for 6 weeks. So that means from like the date of surgery for 6 weeks, I can't lift more than 4 kilos, I think it is.
Before the surgery?
No, after.
Okay. So we still haven't covered. We still haven't covered the pre-surgery.
Calm down. So
I just shouldn't you go out with like a bang? Like, you know, like if you're getting, let's say you're getting a kidney transplant, wouldn't you go out and get blind on straight scotch all night and just like give them one last run for their money and then fuck them off, you know?
Spot on.
Yes. What are you doing?
So for the 6 weeks post, like, yeah, kind of pretty limited what I can do, which means can't really host people, which is fine.
Okay.
In the lead up too, so
Yes.
from tomorrow through to the date of surgery, the kids have got fucking 28 commitments for every weekend.
Right.
So the lack of rescheduling has nothing to do with the nachos. The nachos the plan was actually to do it tomorrow, but there was unavailability of everyone for tomorrow.
Okay.
But then from then on, every weekend the kids have got like fucking 400 children's birthday parties they've been invited to.
God.
I've got the
That sounds
Greeno.
awful. As someone who's got a 9-month-old, that just sounds like doom looming on the horizon.
Well, it's double down now,
Every
'cause
weekend, you know, you're busy.
Every weekend,
Yeah.
we're talking Saturdays, Sundays, Thursdays, Tuesdays. Like it's fucking all over the
Tuesdays?
shop.
What kind of
Well, there's not really a
psychopathic
Tuesday,
family
but-
puts a kid's birthday party on a Tuesday?
So in answer to your question, it's got nothing to do with the nacho consumption. The nachos are going to sit well in the tummy, irrespective of surgical procedures.
Yes.
The rescheduling is more just got to do with the fact that there's way too many kids' birthdays we're going to go to for the next 3 weeks, and then I can't really fucking do much for the 6 weeks after. So
Yeah,
not really good to hosting.
well, you could still have lunch though. I mean, you know, let's be real here.
No,
We're not asking you to lift any weights or anything when we come over for lunch. Like, I don't want you to show off your bench press when we get there.
Well,
you
here's
know.
the thing. When the doctor's
You can
like,
just
oh,
stand
look,
there and we'll eat.
when
the
he's like, you
nachos.
can't lift anything. I'm like, what do you mean by anything? He's like, well, do you have kids? I'm like, yep. He goes, we can't lift them.
Okay.
And I'm like, he goes, do you have, do you do grocery shopping? I'm like, yep. He goes, well, you can't lift a bag. I'm like, well, that seems fucking very inconvenient.
Okay,
I
you
can't
can
lift a
put
shopping
you
bag.
can put stuff in the trolley though. Yeah.
Well, no, because I can't push the trolley because the trolley's more than 4 kilo.
Well, what if you attach like a hockey strap and drag it behind you?
Well,
Greeno?
if the converging weight is less than 4 kilo, I'm
Think
good.
it's sight, wouldn't it? Someone
I'm good,
dragging the
mate.
trolley around
I'm
by the
good.
waist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just tie a rope to him. He'll be right.
Don't get me wrong, man. I'm gonna make you guys these nachos. It's fine. So
Fucking
we're
better,
all
yeah.
good there.
Yeah. Well,
So with that said, knowing that I've got a hospital visit coming up, I thought, look, fucking, I've seen all these ads.
Yeah.
I've seen the ads, mate. Fucking advertising got in my brain.
what ads?
I gotta get the booster. I fucking gotta get the booster. I gotta get the 5G booster, Damo.
The garlic.
So I got to boost up.
Yep.
So I thought, look, I'll go in and get that. Now, aside from the fact that like I had no voice and I had a head cold,
Yeah.
still didn't miss a day of work. And I've missed a day of work in fucking I think I missed 1 day in about 3 years. Just because I'm working from home, even with a head cold, I don't care. Like I can still pump out some work. I'm an accountant. Like it's not that fucking hard.
You also
I've
get
never-
to save up your sick days as well, which is a bonus.
6 days. I've got. I checked it yesterday. 592 hours. That seems like a lot.
Nice, Gary!
It's a lot of sick days.
That's
saved up.
that's plague sick days right there.
That's
ladies and
like,
gentlemen.
yeah, I'm like, that's going to cover my hospital visit. I'll be all right. So anyway, I thought, do the right thing. Go get 5G'd up and we'll be good to go. Now, so let's think about this. I thought I'll get the booster to prevent, once again, I'm trying to prevent getting ill here. I'm trying to prevent getting sick.
Yeah, well, that was your first mistake right there.
That was my
wasn't it?
first mistake. So that evening, I started to feel a little bit like, hey, man,
you
this is
should know
fucking-
better by now.
I know I should know better. Let me tell the story though. So anyway, that evening, I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I feel fucking, this is not good. Feeling a bit achy.
Yeah.
Feel a bit like off. And the wife was at work, so obviously put the kids to bed. Wife got home, like, I gotta go to bed, man. Like I'm starting to feel something. This is not good. Not good. That night, fucking aches, pains, chills. Physically couldn't move, in agony, pain, to the point where like I needed to go to the bathroom, but I physically could not pick myself up to
Ooh,
go to the bathroom.
that's not a good
And I'm
sign.
like, am I going to fucking piss myself at 4 a.m. because I fucking can't get up? Like,
Well, on
eventually
the
it's-
upside, you're in such a cold sweat that if you pissed yourself, you probably
It just
wouldn't actually
blends.
notice. Yeah, you wouldn't
It's
know.
fine.
Yeah.
So eventually, like it's sick, after about 3 hours of like mentally preparing myself between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m., I kind of like drag myself out of bed and like get to the toilet, go to the bathroom, and then kind of get back to my bed and fucking like just crash back out. And then
Well, the fact
Kept on
that you were
sleeping.
able to think about taking a piss for 3 hours would indicate that you really didn't actually have to take a piss.
I really need to take it. No, it was 3 hours of trying to get up and build the energy just to stand.
Otherwise,
to
you
get
would
to the
have.
toilet.
But you would have pissed yourself though. Like if you really had to. So you got
If I
up
really
at
had
the
to,
time
but-
that you really had to get up, which was 3 hours.
Yeah,
so you
but then
spent 3 hours thinking about it.
It was a cost benefit analysis. I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to get up to. I'm
Cost-benefit
gonna have to
analysis.
get up to wash myself, and that seems like more effort than getting up to take a piss. So I got there.
Accountant's
At the
going
end.
to count, ladies and gentlemen.
So anyway, at that point, I'm like, fuck it, I can't work today. So I quickly messaged my boss at like 6 in the morning. I'm like, mate, not logging in. Like, boosters fuck me up. Like, see, I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hop back into bed. Then the next thing I hear is, are you dead? Are you dead? And then I realized
And it
that
was
the wife-
Sanka. It was Sanka from Cool Runnings.
It was Sanka. Sanka, you a dead man?
You're dead,
no.
man. Yeah, man.
Turns out that the wife didn't realize that I hadn't been around all morning.
Oh, interesting. Nice, Gary.
So she said to the kids, she's like, have you seen Dad this morning? And then I was
Where's
like,
Dad?
no, man. Dad hasn't been here. Like, Dad's normally up about working for 3 hours.
He went out for cigarettes and a lottery ticket. He said he'd be back in 10 minutes.
He's had to get milk. So the wife had to come check on me, check if I was dead. And she came, she nudged me, she woke me up. And she's like, are you all right? And I'm like, yeah, not really. Like, I can't move and I'm in agony. Like, just let me sleep. Let me sleep. I proceeded to sleep for 30 of the next 36 hours.
Jesus.
And then eventually I didn't eat for like a day. Like, I know, I think I eventually built up the energy to go in and make myself like a roast beef sandwich at one point.
Nachos. Yeah.
No nachos, unfortunately, bro. I had energy to make like 1 minute worth of food. So it ended up being a roast beef sandwich.
So it's not even 2-minute noodles. Like, no, I can't do it. It's too much.
2 minutes, it's too much, mate. I
need something that takes half as long.
And I ate it on frozen bread because I couldn't wait for the bread to defrost.
I have. Can we interrupt the story?
I like stories
Yeah.
about pinatas.
If you're listening to this later on, just leave a comment to us on Twitter. And if you will admit, if you'll put your hand up, I will put my hand up and admit that I have heated something up in the microwave and then got it out. And it's like the outside is hot. So I'm like, sweet, cool. And I go and sit down and I start eating it. And then I get to the middle and the middle is kind of cold or on the borderline frozen. And I've had that moment where I'm like, am I so lazy that I will sit here and eat half of a frozen pie?
Yeah.
Or will I get up off my fat ass and go back to the kitchen and continue heating it? And I will put my hand up and admit I have eaten the frozen.
Sometimes the latter. It happens. Normally with a pizza pocket for me.
Yeah,
I'm
pizza
like,
pockets are tough.
That's another 30 seconds in the microwave, but I'm already 3 bites in. Fuck it. Let's go.
You know what I do with them? I poke my pinky finger in the top and just make like a little hole. And then that acts like a kind of vacuum or whatever, and it heats from the inside, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
So that's the secret with the pizza pockets, Greeno.
There we go. I like it.
Yep.
So then that night, the wife kind of brought in some dinner, and she was like, "Oh, just eat as much as you can." And I got through like half a fish cake, and I'm like, "All right, I got to go back." And that took all the energy out of me to eat half a fish cake, and I'm like, "I got to go back to bed."
You'd only get through half a fish cake on a good day though, because some of them are fucking
These good
awful
ones
as well.
These ones are good. These are good. These are like made of fresh salmon. They're amazing.
Okay.
So Benjamin went back to bed, woke up the next day, and then was kind of all right and went back to work. It was all good. Now that day though, the kids booked in for their flu jab. Because once again, Damo, got to make sure you protect the kids. Got to fucking jab them up.
You should have the kids on the garlic program, obviously.
Well, now I know. Well, the garlic thing came out the day after all this happened, right? So anyway, get the kids a flu jab. And look, for me personally, I didn't get the flu jab because when I went to get the booster, they're like, "Oh, we've also got the flu jab available. Do you want to get that while you're here?"
2
I'm
for
like,
1.
Fuck no. And I'm like, "No, thank you. Like, I'm all good." Like, death rates, all those kind of things, flu, COVID, like it doesn't really matter. But comparatively, I'm not going to die of either, to be fair, but probably more likely to die of the former. So fuck it, would be all right. One's fine. Imagine how bad it would have been if I got both at the same time. Fuck that. So anyway, kids already booked in flu jab. I said to the wife, I'm like, look,
How would you know though? Like,
you never know.
how do you know where one starts and the other finishes? Like, it would be tough.
Much of a muchness. The garlic would fix it though.
The garlic.
So
yeah.
kids get their
No,
flu
well, the
jab,
garlic
and
only
normally-
fixes the COVID though. It won't fix the flu. It will save you from vampires and COVID, but not the flu. Which just goes to show you how powerful the flu is. I mean, even Australian garlic can't stop it.
Doesn't kill it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can kill the COVID though.
I'm not going to forget that garlic story for a long time now.
It's the greatest, isn't it?
There's so many angles we could take with it. It's beautiful.
So anyway, next morning I finally wake up after whatever 36 hours it is and head inside, and the wife's like, "Oh," I'm like, "What's wrong?" It's like, "Oh, the kids have been up vomiting all night." I'm like,
no.
"What do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, yeah, like the little one, like she got up at like 2 a.m. and then she vomited everywhere. She wasn't feeling well, and then he's just woken up and he's now like he wants to vomit, and he just went back to bed. I've never seen him go back to bed. Blah blah blah." So in the space of like 2 days, my house has become an anti-vax advert, unintentionally.
You've become a conspiracy theorist.
I've become a conspiracy theorist. I'm now the bad guy because I'm like, my kids were perfectly healthy yesterday.
You're
Now
one of the
they're vomiting
ones. You're one of the ones
and
they
can't go to
hate
school
the
and
most.
daycare. I haven't missed a day of work in like I've missed 1 day in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yet I go and get a fucking jab to try and not get sick and not miss days of work.
You wipe
and
out
end
the
up
whole
fucking
family.
being in bed for 36 hours.
Yeah.
My household became a walking advert there for anti-vaxxers. So well done. That's the story time, sir.
That's a good.
I like stories about pinatas.
But again, you should, you should note that you're one of the ones they hate the most because you're a believer, and then you went and got the setup, like fix me up so I don't get sick, and then you got sick, and now if you come out, you'll be like Eric Clapton, Greeno. You'll be a pariah. No, I took it, and I had a really bad experience. Boo! Off with his head. You can't just come out and say things like that, Greeno. Doesn't matter if the whole family got wiped out. Doesn't matter. We all know you're working for Big Garlic. Okay?
Yeah, you're working for Big Garlic, Eric. We know it. All right, so that's enough fucking vax talk. I want to do a quick dick move if we can, sir.
Please.
You dick. So I got this email late this afternoon. Now, this is from my mortgage provider. And the mortgage provider said, look, we want to give you the heads up. We're going to help you manage the cost, like the rise in cost of living. Like, we're going to give you tools, tips, guides. Let's help you out here.
Yeah, first
And I'm
off,
like-
take out a big loan and sign up for a credit card with us, if you don't mind.
Well, not even that. I'm like, well, here's the first way I could do it. How about you stop fucking charging me exorbitant amounts of interest, you dickheads? The reason there's a cost of living crisis, for me anyway, is because I checked my bank account yesterday. Turns out fucking 90% of the mortgage I pay you each fucking fortnight is just the interest.
Yes.
So how about you want to fix it? You want to manage it?
Yeah.
How about you fuck the interest bit off?
Yeah.
And I'm going to pay this prick off in like 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, some would argue that there are fundamentalist various theocracies in parts of the world, like the Middle East, for example, Greeno, and some people argue that, some bad things come out of there in the way of terrorism and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I would argue one thing that they do have right is the usury laws. They don't do it. So over there, you're not allowed to charge interest, Greeno. Like you buy a house at the price. So they can only lend you, I guess you can borrow money for a certain amount and you agree to pay it back. But they factor in the interest at the upfront price. So
that's fine.
So yeah, you go, like, let's say your house costs $500,000, right?
Yeah.
You'll go to them and say, look, I don't have $500,000. You need to lend me the money. And they say, okay, we'll lend you 650,000 and you pay it back.
Pay us back 650.
That's right.
And we're 150 up.
We're
Everyone's a
150
winner.
up. Everyone's a winner.
You know how much you're repaying?
That's right.
It's all good.
Yeah. So that's the way they do things over there. Now, the reasons that they do that, I'll let you look it up. It tends to be because they don't like Jewish people very much. So they think interest is a Jewish law. That's why we're not going to do it. So, but hey, that's one thing they got. That's a feather in their cap. Not everything's bad. I'd
Once
be
again,
down for something like that, wouldn't you?
We've talked about on this show. We've talked about kind of whether it be politics, whether it be kind of the whole kind of anti-vax thing. Nothing in the world is fucking
all
black and
bad.
white, right?
Yeah.
Everything's somewhere grey in the middle. There's some things that bad people do that may be good, but you're not allowed to acknowledge that because
Now you sound like
they're fucking bad people.
sound like Kanye West, Greeno.
Now I'm big Kanye. I'm going a little bit. I've been influenced by Big Garlic, Damo.
Big
Now
Garlic.
I'm talking.
Big Garlic
I'm
is
talking.
whispering sweet nothings into the ear of Greeno Kanye West here. And now he's talking about, bad people do good things too.
But it's like let's be fucking serious here. Like there's no such thing. Not everything's fucking black and white.
No. Some things are. Crosswords.
Black and white.
Yes.
Black and white paint.
Yeah. Magpies.
Magpies. Well, they got shades of grey too, sir.
They do.
They could be a little bit dirty.
Dalmatians.
Dalmatians, once again, a bit dirty. Could be shades.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good stuff.
That was the dick move.
That's it. That's all we got. Yeah. Dick move.
That's it. You dick. Speaking of dick moves, Damo. Netflix. Let's have a little bit of a Netflix chat. Now everyone knows this fucking story. Whereas Netflix have decided that look, you can't be sharing your fucking passwords anymore. We're missing out on the big fat cash here. We feel that, the fact that you've paid for a service and you've chosen to do something with that particular service that might impact our bottom line.
Yeah. We
got to find a way to stop that. So they've introduced whatever new rules they've introduced. I don't know. You're the one that got the email because I use your Netflix account. You tell me what the rules are.
Well, the rules are. Thanks for throwing me in it, by the way. The rules are apparently they're cracking down on people sharing passwords and whatnot. So
yeah,
you have to be like in a certain hub or something. Like they go off your router or something now, and they're like, okay, you need to approve this internet connection is the one. This is the one that you're using. So what did you get locked out? Did you?
I believe so. Yeah, the kiddos were jumping in. I don't particularly watch it. It's the kids that watch it.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, the wife was saying, "Oh, we got this warning the other day. What's that about?" I'm like, I think it might be the they're still watching it though, so it must still be working. But
okay. So they're just waving their finger at us at the moment.
Potentially, yeah. Eventually it'll be locked off, and then I'll tell the kids go watch fucking something else.
There's a million shows out there on the internet.
100%. Like, yeah, we can fucking iView, YouTube, all the subscriptions that fucking of Troy's that we have. Between them, we'll be covered.
Yeah, don't worry. There's plenty of drag shows and stuff on YouTube that are family friendly and good for kids if you're a parent out there.
That's it. Plenty of garlic propaganda videos we can watch.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about cuties being on Netflix. Trust me, you can get much worse on YouTube.
Much worse there on the interwebs.
And the kids are just probably watching it on the bus on the way to school on their phone. So
yeah.
Netflix is demanding shareholders approve $166 million in retroactive executive pay for 2022, Greeno. Nice, Gary.
Nice, I wonder where the extras say this is where it all comes from, Damo.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with hey, where we feel like we're getting breached by certain copyright infringements.
Oh, hang on, Greeno. We've got Mr. D-Ball Money in the chat says the account holder will be charged an extra $7.99. That's all right. It's on me.
Nice, Gary.
Shut up and take my money.
Well, that's excellent. Well, that's I'll pay you that, and then everyone's a winner.
You pay me $8 a month, and
I'll pay you $8 a month.
Yeah,
and we're all good.
Yeah,
okay, we're down.
I can live with that. That's fine.
I can live with that too. Yeah. That fucking saves me money, and it means that everyone's a winner.
Yeah,
but
you're actually just paying rent. That's all. That's it's fair enough.
That's right. But here's what they want though, because they've got to pay for this $166 million in retroactive executive pay though.
How do the executive now see? I'm not going to pay the executives an extra $166 million. You know why? Because they got to the end of the year and said, "It seems a little light."
Yeah.
Are we missing something? So you should probably be keeping track of these things, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
You are an executive after all. No. Look, you just shortchanged us just a little bit.
Just a little.
Just a touch. It's like arguing with the cashier at the local supermarket, Greeno, going, I gave you a 20 and you only gave me like $10.40 change. And,
what often happens is the issue is normally around, for complaints in my business, it's normally a rounding adjustment.
Right. So we're talking fractions of a cent kind of thing.
Yeah, like the office space kind of mentality of look, you round it down here when you try to round it up. You probably owe me, $8, and then we'll compound that. You owe me 25, on the basis of that round down situation.
Yeah.
The executives have gone, well, we've looked at it. We feel that you need to add a comma, not a rounding. We need a comma in there. What do you mean? We want $166 million in retroactive executive pay, please.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember I would play that song on my podcast. Victor sent it to us. That that, and that was the Boogie Stand national anthem. And then the guys who made that song were retroactively going through. They must have been doing it themselves because these things would filter in like 1 or 2 a week.
Yeah.
And you know, and it was chronological. Like they were going back through all of my videos, and they would claim copyright over the video because I played that song, that Fickle's whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Fickle's Lead or something. And I was my issue was not that they were claiming copyright because I don't care. Okay, but it's like some of these views, Greeno, had like 50 views or 100 views. Some of these YouTube clips.
How small and petty do you have to be?
Well, like the amount of hours that they would have to do to sift through my videos, because some of my shows were going for like 3-4 hours, mind you, and I might play this song for 30 seconds in it, and they would find it, you know, and I'd get an email saying they've claimed copyright. And my question, I started playing it just because I'm like, look, if you're going to make, you know, 0.3 of a cent off of this, and you've got the willpower to sit through a show in waiting for that moment when you can claim copyright to get the monetary, you know, value credit you deserve from a video that maybe 40 or 50 people see. I mean, good luck to you. You deserve it. So I just started playing it more, you know.
Yeah, more, and then put a fitty up on the camera. Just
and
ready
they fucking, God bless them, they kept claiming it.
Well done.
They kept claiming the video.
You got yourself a listen, though.
Yes, I guess. But is it really worth all the fucking effort that you're putting in?
Not worth 0.3%.
It's not 166 million, is it?
No,
in
exactly.
retroactive pay. No. It's cents we're talking about.
Here's the thing with Netflix, though, like the executives, the model for the business is kind of set, right? Like you buy content, you upload content, you let people purchase the subscriptions, they watch the content, you make it for limited, then you remove the content. What exactly are the executives doing?
Wow, that's a good question.
Yeah,
I
to
don't
justify
know.
not only a pay in general, but a retroactive executive pay of $166 million.
Yeah. By contrast, the writers' strike ends if Netflix agrees to a contract that would cost the streamer an estimated $68 million a year.
Yeah, but that doesn't go into the executive's pockets, Dave. So why would they do that?
Yeah, but look, to be fair, I wouldn't give the fucking writers a cent more either. They're fucking terrible, most of them.
I've seen what's on Netflix. Yeah, I wouldn't fucking pay the writers much either.
You're not getting a pay rise. Sure as shit.
Yeah.
I'd rather give the executives 166 million than give you a pay rise. You haven't earned it. They do nothing. The executives, literally. Hey, but at least they're not bad. At least they're not writing garbage like you are. You know.
Exactly.
So they got that going for them. Yeah. Fantastic stuff.
Let's look at the internet demo, then have a breather, and then we'll go to a break after that.
I wanted to bring this one up, but I'm disappointed because there was a reaction video to this story that I wanted to play. But now it's been paywalled, ironically. So, after a controversial social media post, Jared Wallace, who's an Australian rugby league player,
pause there.
Yeah,
I don't want to turn into the fucking Daily Boogie again.
Yeah.
But when we say controversial media post, he made like a bad joke where he talked about how he likes his wife like doing his laundry or some shit like that.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry.
After a controversial social media post, Jared Wallace apologized and explained it was an inside joke with his fiancée. But the Dolphins star revealed he is getting death threats alongside mentions of his unborn child. This is fantastic. Yeah. The Dolphins prop shared a photo of himself posing with his pregnant fiancée, Shannon Wells, at a club event on Monday with a caption that raised the eyebrows of the viewers, Greeno. Quote, "You look real good cooking our little boy, but even better when you're washing my clothes."
Nice, Gary! Chauvinists and sexists and misogynists and chauvinists and sexists.
And, you know, now, of course, you know, the reaction that happens.
Oh, the reaction is going to be what we expect. Now, look, obviously he said that. Now, you're, I don't mean talk out of school here. Your lovely bride, let's just make like it fucking clear. She is the alpha in your particular household, no matter what, in your situation. This is the kind of comment you would make to her just to razz her up. Like inside jokes, like she ain't sitting there, she ain't no like stereotypical housewife. It sounds like he's saying this. This is obviously said in fucking jest. He's got an inside joke with his pregnant wife going, you know, oh, blah, blah, blah. They probably have a very similar dynamic where, you know, she's kind of in charge of the household. very strong, independent person. And the inside gag is like, oh, stereotypical housewives, cook, clean, make my dinner, blah, 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 blah. That is obviously a fucking gag.
Yep.
Because no one says that without it kind of being said tongue in cheek. You've made fucking many disparaging comments on this particular program, as have I.
I remember seeing a meme, not a meme, but like there was a picture going around of like some random, average housewife and next to her husband. And she had a shirt on that said wife and an arrow pointing up at her face. And each letter represented another word, and it said washing, ironing, fucking, etc. The wife, right?
Yeah.
Arrow pointing up. And she posted that out, and there were women going crazy at her for posting it. It's like, what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, you're the worst. You're scum. Now, let's put that in context, right? So this guy's made kind of an inside joke. Obviously, it's fucking said tongue in cheek. They're going to have a bit of a laugh at home. Ha, ha, ha. That's not the real situation, obviously, because he's put that out there. And the way these people have gone, look, I'm offended. I'm so offended by that. Fucking this is not fucking acceptable. How are we going to react to this particular situation?
Yeah.
Let's fucking threaten them and their unborn child.
Yes.
That'll fucking fix it. That is much better behavior than what he said is an inside joke.
Threaten to kill his children. Okay, that'll show him that sexism is wrong.
That inside jokes are not fucking funny if they're fucking sexist.
The feedback was so vile, Wallace decided to turn. Now here's where I'm going to give. So we're giving a dick move to the internet, but I'm also going to give a dick move to Jared Wallace, because what he does next is he doesn't get it. He's feeding into the cycle, Greeno.
Don't feed into the cycle, Jared.
Don't feed into the cycle. The feedback was so vile, Wallace decided to turn the comments off and, quote, refer the matter to Southport Police Station. Nice, Gary! On Wednesday, Wallace revealed he and his family were still receiving angry messages days after the picture was posted. Some fans took offence to the caption and immediately began criticising the former Queensland Maroon star, quote, forcing him to change the wording and explain. And that's the problem. Don't explain yourself to these fuckers.
Don't explain. None of your fucking business.
No. Hey,
this encourages people because then they're like, we made him fucking change the message.
Well, that's the whole point.
Maybe we need to threaten more unborn babies. That'll fix it.
Well, they're not interested in the apology. The apology is a sign of weakness to these people, right? What they're interested in is changing your behavior. That's what they're trying to do. They're forcing you to change, kind of who you are and not say what you want to say and stuff. That's the point.
Yeah.
So, it's just, look, the issue is 10 years ago, you'd bring up something like this and say, one day people won't even be allowed to make, innocent jokes on social media anymore with their loved ones because that'll be deemed as, sexist or whatever. And people just say, don't be crazy, you're a doomsayer and stuff. And now this happens so frequently that nobody even really bothers anymore. No one bats an eyelid, Yeah, he got death threats. Why? Because he said he likes to see his wife cooking. Yeah. What do you say at this point? You're like, yep, it's a shit show. It's a complete shit show. Hashtag MT2024, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note? Well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later. Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on the line. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVShow.com.
Yes! Welcome back to the block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't forget, if you want to keep in touch with us, Gooden.life. Currently under construction, Greeno, but the tech heads down at Gooden.life headquarters have assured me that everything's going to, according to plan and will be up and running before you know it. So, Gooden.life, Greeno, blah, blah, blah. I guess I'm tongue-twisted because I've been thinking about this during the ad break. Al Pacino, 82, expecting baby with girlfriend Noor Afala, 29, Greeno. So his boys can still swim. The thing I like the thing I like most about this is Al Pacino is openly admitting, yeah, look, I'm not going to be around for the babies growing up, okay? I have no intention of sticking around after this baby is born. I will literally be dead in like 5 years max. So I have no plans of sticking around to see this kid grow up.
Make the most of birthdays 1 through 4 because Al won't be around for much longer.
Now, see, if he was if you were a 40-year-old guy, a 30-year-old guy, and you knocked up a 29-year-old girl and you came out to her and said, look, I'm probably only going to be here for maybe a couple of years and then I'm shooting off. I'm going to do something else. I won't be paying child support. I won't be available. You won't be able to call me or anything like that. You'd be a horrible person. But Al Pacino, no, he gets away with it because he's not just leaving. He's going to be dead. So, nice, Gary.
He'll be dead. Now,
he's come up with the perfect loophole, you see.
Well, also, if you sit there and go, look, I'm going to knock you up. I'll be around for a couple of years. But then I'm going to hand over a fistful of cash
Kitty
to
B
make
in
sure
the
the
chat.
baby's taken care of.
Kitty B in the chat, Greeno. He had his fun. He's on the next one. Life is too short.
Exactly. That's not a bad situation. Like, hey, you're still 29. You can still go meet someone.
Yeah.
Like, your life is still there. He's 12 million.
Yeah.
Fucking, that'll cover it.
12? 12's not going to do it. For an Al Pacino baby, I'm thinking 100 million max.
Yeah, but Al's probably got a bunch of kids around. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
But
and he's probably not paying
Al
for them.
had those back in his 20s. So maybe they've had their kids, they've had their grandkids. Al's like a great grandpa now, which is kind of awkward. Like some of these poor kids' brothers and sisters are dead.
The top comment is from Jared Munro, who says, poor kid will get more time with him watching The Irishman. Fucking movie never ended, did it? God, it's awful.
I just think it's true to make one joke, Damo. The only good news out of this is we finally learn what the scent of a woman actually is. Breast milk. That was my gag. That's fucking terrible. Which I can send it through now.
Yeah. I want to have a look at this Noor Afala because I'm sure she's not doing it for the money. And I'm sure he's not doing it for the looks.
Very tidy.
Okay. Very tidy unit. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Here. Where is she? Oh, okay. Yep. Understood.
Yeah.
I mean, from his perspective, I don't know about her. I don't know what her fucking problem is.
Yeah. Well done, Al. But yeah. She should know better.
Gee, doesn't look good, does he? And look at that.
Yeah, that's no good.
Hey, Papa. Hey, Papa. 82 years old. That's my daddy.
Imagine that lying on top of you. Like,
I mean, she's openly, she's actually like, you've heard of gold diggers, obviously. Now, she's actually probably the dumbest gold digger in the history of the world because she is not going to be free to spend the money once Al dies. She's going to have this fucking remnant of Al Pacino that she has to, take care of for the next 5 years. It's going to destroy her body, so no other rich man is going to want her, obviously.
Yeah, but she's already covered now.
Yeah, but I don't know if that'll be good enough. You know, you'll want to stay in the limelight unless she plans Greeno to be like a kind of crazy matriarch character, and then
I can smell it.
Well,
the true scent. It's a reality show, Damo.
It's a reality show. I think I think she's going to put little baby Pacino into acting lessons immediately, and try to turn them into the next Al Pacino.
Nice,
just like a generational thing.
Yeah,
like
And Al Pacino, to his credit, he's actually setting up fucking franchises now that will go on long after he's gone. You know, that's his
Godfather
legacy.
24. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic work from Al. Well done, buddy.
Well done, Al.
Yeah. I mean, he's no Bernie Eccleston. Didn't Bernie have one at like 92 or something? Something crazy.
I think Bernie was a similar age, to be fair.
Yeah. Might have been. Actually, Bernie might have been younger. He might have been in his 70s the last
Yeah, I
time.
think Bernie was 70s because, Bernie's not even as old as Al, I think, off memory. So
No, Bernie's older than Al Pacino, isn't he?
No, I don't think so.
I need to know. Can you Google it? Can you
I'm going to quickly Google it now. We're Bernie
pull up the Google machine, Greeno.
Eccleston, our English business magnate. How old is Bernie? Oh, fucking there you go. He's 92.
There you go.
How is Bernie still kicking? Bernie, to be fair, Bernie looks good for 92.
Yeah, he's all right. He's still going.
And let's see. Let's go children. Bernie, the old Google machine here. Children born 2020. Fuck me. You're right. 89 years of age.
Yay! So Bernie Eccleston is actually still in front of Al Pacino. So what was Al Pacino's?
Al Pacino's 82 years of age.
Can we pull
Bernie
up?
Bernie was 89.
I'm going to find the story of Bernie Eccleston becomes a dad yet again.
A dad to baby Alexander in 2020.
Baby 2020. Let's have a look at Bernie. Now, and look, we'll put them side by side too, because I think actually Bernie Eccleston has big dick energy compared, like, he has big dick energy compared to Al Pacino. I reckon Al Pacino's a fucking pussy. You know how Al Pacino's career was basically like he's the tough guy, the gangster, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Bernie Eccleston is a real life fucking gangster.
He's a genuine gangster, yeah.
He's a fucking machine.
There was a reason he was a magnate and ruling F1 for as long as he did. Like
50 years he ran
that
F1.
That was a legitimate godfather, not the acting one, you know what I mean?
Here we go. Now,
once again, have a look at Bernie's wife there.
Look at the look on Bernie's face. Bernie Eccleston, 89, and wife Fabiana welcome first baby boy and reveal name, the Formula One boss. So he was still running Formula One at that point.
Yeah, even like his late 80s. Yeah.
And he's still there. He's still around, isn't he? And his wife was actually 44. There you go. So not only is he older, he's less disrespectful to women than Al Pacino is, Greeno, because Al Pacino's got himself a 29-year-old. Bernie's actually gone for substance. No, I love Fabiana because of who she is.
Because she's 44. I'm sure Fabiana's in for love too.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely she is. There you go. The now father of four, who was self-isolating at his farm in Sao Paulo, Brazil, at the time of the announcement, also shared his hopes for his son, cheekily telling The Independent, quote, hopefully he'll learn to play backgammon soon. There you go. Backgammon.
Well done.
Stickball.
Jesus Christ. All right, what do we got? Unity Day updates, Damo.
Unity Day. Let's
Unity
go.
Day updates. Now, good news. Unity Day's coming in a ticket. Firstly, we saw yesterday. Unity Day 2023 zone, Gabriel Gatte making a comeback.
Yep.
We keep on reviving careers here.
We really
was on
do.
MasterChef yesterday.
We are the new Quentin Tarantino, ladies and gentlemen. We are reviving careers left, right, and center here.
It's been a few we've done now.
Gabriel is our John Travolta.
Mm-hmm. And looking forward to seeing his ongoing endeavors. But as we like to do, we like to get some of these signings in early because, we don't want to leave it till the arse end. We just got to make sure we've got some things covered. Now, who do we have last time? We had Tonya Tobin, who was sent over there by Huey.
Yes.
Which is always good. So she can do a little bit of arts and crafts there for the kiddos. The adults, if they want to do a quilt, Tonya's got you covered. So once again, we always like to expand our horizons, make sure kind of all different types and genres are covered here at Unity Day. Obviously, unification of all. We need to make sure everything's covered. So we like to think music, we like to think food, we like to think, something for the kids, etc. And this week, I very excited when the contract came through. We've got ourselves a little bit of a triple threat, if we can.
Okay, let's go.
We've got Nelly Furtado, Dave. Who's going to be running the frittata stand.
What was her song again? Her hit?
You'll get to it. Who's going to be running the frittata stand as well.
Nelly Furtado's.
Nelly Furtado's going to be selling the frittatas and also taking care of the Avery while she sings her song "I'm Like a Bird."
Now, have you run this past legal? Because I'm not sure that I like the idea of the children walking into a bird aviary. Will we be locking the door behind them? Because otherwise the birds are going to fly out of there. And what kind of birds are we putting in there?
It's going to be like Zootopia. You know what I mean?
Zootopia.
Like Nelly will be doing like the...
I'm like a bird. While she's making frittatas.
Inside the aviary, whipping up some frittatas.
Oh, so she's making the frittatas inside the aviary.
Inside the aviary.
There's going to be birds shitting all over them, Greeno.
We'll work out the logistics.
We'll have to put her under an umbrella.
It might work. Let's see how we go.
We'll have to put her under an umbrella and then put like chicken wire around her to stop the birds flying in and eating the frittatas, which they obviously will. Now you can roll the frittatas up and kind of squish them through the chicken wire.
The chicken wire for the kiddos.
Hold your hands out, children, and you'll get pieces of frittata. Yeah. You know, just grated, I guess. Grated frittata pushed through the chicken wire. Yeah.
So good. Buck a piece. But it's gonna be a thing of beauty. It's gonna be a bit of a think piece. So looking forward to that. Nelly Furtado doing some frittatas inside the aviary there. So
singing
well done,
I'm Like a Bird. Yeah.
Singing I'm Like a Bird.
Will she have to sing the whole time, or can we just play the recording of it on loop? Because she might be like, look, I'm trying to make fucking frittatas here. I'm squishing them through chicken wire. I don't know my voice right now.
I think we'll top and tail it. I think kind of like pre-cook.
One live performance,
We'll get her to crank one out, and then because she's only got one song, which generally seems to be the common theme for
also came out in the 90s, by the way. If you're listening at the start of the show, there's another example.
Another example. And then I think what she can do is she can do it in batches, right? So she'll whip up some frittatas. Yeah. She'll do a bit of a bird show.
Will she have a team in there like Iron Chef? You know, the cook us up.
Look, nah, because I think that's going to cut into overheads, man. I think we need to just stick it straight Nelly.
Because I was thinking maybe this could be a redemption arc for Dean Hutton. Greeno, he could be Nelly Furtado's assistant in the frittata cage.
I don't want him near the flames, mate. Like it's fucking it's the panic stations.
Yeah.
So if we can do something that's non-flammable and get Dean involved, maybe. Maybe you can help Tony Todman with the quilts.
Maybe we can hire him to shoo the birds away from the hot plate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that could work. But then once again, he's near the flames. I can just see him. What happened last time? We had security have to escort him out because he put a fucking pot under his shirt and just said he had a boiler.
Yeah.
And he's trying to sneak one in. Yeah. We can't have it. So we'll wait and see. Damo, this is becoming almost my new favorite segment. About 3 months ago, maybe we realized that Ian Maurice, the bear, had a Twitter account. So now every week we're pretty much doing the bear's tweet of the week. and it turns out,
trying to sneak a pot in under his shirt.
The bear. He loves his
the
Sunday
pot was
night
so big, it was like the shirt only went halfway over the pot. You could just see the bottom half of it.
It was pretty.
Dean, what are you doing, mate? What are you talking about?
Well, the problem with Dean is because he put on the Groucho Marx glasses.
They'll never know.
But because he already had the mustache, he realised it was just Dean Hutton glasses.
He had to shave it off.
He had to shave off
the plastic mustache. Yeah.
And then the thing, we can still see your regular mustache.
You just wear glasses and a funny nose.
Glasses, mate. Like, you got a fake boiler. It's no good. Remember the time Dean tried to sneak in with a slow cooker?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's fucking, no one's going to burn with this. I'm like, you're fucking right.
Nice, Gary!
And then we realized like he had a preset like slow cooker with already scalding hot cocktail frames.
Yeah.
It was no good. No good. What are we doing? Bears tweet of the week. The bear, he loves his Sunday night free-to-air TV day,
Does he-
mate.
is this the real bear now? I don't even know anymore. I don't think it is, Greeno.
I know, I think it is. So this is how free-to-air TV
I
has
don't think
lost
this
its
is the
way.
real Ian Maurice anymore.
Well, because the bear's not going to play for a blue tick. I tell you that much.
He won't pay for anything. Won't even pay for a coffee, Greeno.
He's watching free-to-air TV on a Sunday. It's sad. Will someone pay Damo? I'm going to give you permission to share your password with the bear for Netflix.
Yeah,
so
you
he
won't
doesn't
give
have
me
to
the
watch free-to-air
$7.99
TV.
though, Greeno.
That's it. This is how free-to-air TV has lost its way. The highest rating show outside of the news on Sunday night free-to-air was Bluey. I remember the days when Sunday night was the biggest viewing night of the week. So the Bears all pumped up.
It probably still is. See, Bear, Ian, I love you, man, but it probably still is the biggest viewing night of the week, but just not in the traditional avenues that it used to be. You know, free to air was the biggest viewing. Sunday's probably the biggest viewing night of the week because no one really wants to commit to doing anything because they have to go to work the next day. So
Yeah.
you probably will find yourself just kicking back and watching some TV. You know, you unwind before the week starts again.
Yeah.
So, but you know, these days they're watching other shit. They're watching, you know, streaming. They're watching YouTube. They're watching Netflix, whatever. They're not watching free-to-air TV.
They're just not watching free-to-air. You don't see it. That's
But
why
I
Bluey's
do
rating its
remember
tits off.
growing up, you know, there was a very set kind of thing on Sunday nights. You had the Sunday afternoon footy game at about 4:00, Greeno.
Yeah.
Or the V8 supercars, which would start about 2 or 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
And that'd take you through to the news. And then the news would go to 6:30, and then the adults used to love a bit of 60 Minutes, didn't they, Greeno? That was the thing that the adults used to
60 minutes
watch.
into the Sunday night movie. That's how it used to roll.
Yeah, and then the Sunday night movie. And they started doing the Sunday night movie a little earlier for the kiddies, I think. It started to come on about 7:30, but we were always, we were a little older by then. For us, it was 8:30. That was the time that the movie
That was the
came.
time. Yeah, you need your 8:30 movie, and that was where you saw your blockbusters.
Yeah, and then Channel 10 started doing the 2 movies back to back, didn't they? They did like a 6:30 and then an 8:30 as well. Whereas the other
after
channels,
like 7 straight Simpsons episodes, sounds about right.
yeah, that's right. Basically, hot dogs. And yeah, so you know, Sunday night was, you know, yeah, I can see that. But again, Ian Maurice, he's upset about Bluey being the highest rate show.
Well, that's
Lady
all good,
Books,
because
Lady
I've
Books
been
told me
checking-
the other day that Bluey is actually now like the #1 watched thing on YouTube. If I'm
Yeah,
not
they love it. Yeah, kids love Bluey. It's worldwide.
Yeah.
It's the new Wiggles.
Yeah, it seems Australians just keep, you know, capturing the imagination of children, don't they?
Yeah.
In other Anglo-Saxon nations, right? There's something about the Australians that the kids love in other countries, Greeno. They love the Wiggles, they love Bluey in America, they love that shit. What are we
I
doing?
think they like the laid back atmosphere of Aussies without realising that most Aussies aren't very laid back.
Well,
It's
we're
just
laid
a
back because
stereotype.
we have Australian garlic and we know that
Australian
we're
garlic, to be
protected
fair,
from
yeah,
all
exactly.
diseases. Yeah.
Just jumping on the Bears Twitter page now. Firstly, we set our listeners the challenge many weeks ago.
Yeah.
We need to get the Bear above 1,000.
Yes. Oh,
He's
look
up
at
at
he's over
1,065.
1,000. Nice, Gary.
Now that's a nice Gary. Now also check out the last couple of tweets from the Bear. He's not a fan of the voice.
Oh, look. I'm surprised there hasn't been more criticism of the politically based welcome to country prior to Origin last night. Regardless of how you want to vote, surely we should keep politics out of sport? ? Oh no, Bear has no idea what he's doing now.
The Bear doesn't know.
The Bear doesn't know. He's lucky he's not having any more kids, I don't think, because they'd be getting death threats by now.
No, well, the Bear. The Bear's got plenty of good legs in him. Let's have a look here. You read the Bear's tweets. I'll look up how old the Bear is.
Okay. Pharaoh had to run 2 laps of an oval for North, 2 laps oval for South to prove fit enough to be Pharaoh of all Egypt. I'm guessing that sport politics argument has bolted a long time ago. 5000 BC was probably the last time there was a legitimate argument to keep them separate. What the fuck are people doing
I
on the
like
internet?
stories about pinatas.
God,
I
there's
don't
some
know.
idiots out there.
I
Sport
can't
is
find out
all
the
about
Bear's age.
politics. Otherwise, a state of origin would be a flop. So, you know, I've had this discussion many times with people, Greeno, because I'm someone who's like, no, I understand that politics can be, you know, like a current in sport that's to say that the fans have political agendas and some teams have rivalries, which is heavily steeped in things like religion and politics. I get all that, but I'm definitely someone who's like, if you've got like an activist point to make it on the street outside. I'm someone who's like, people use sport as an escape from politics and an escape from life, where it's funny, the people who complain the most about, like say a football player said something sexist, are usually the ones that are trying to inject politics into sport in the first place. So they're injecting themselves into a place that they otherwise would not be in, and then demanding that place change its ways in order to suit their particular political, ideology or agenda. So I'm not surprised that the Bear takes this stance, Greeno.
That's fine. Bear, also, if we'd been following the Bear back at this time, tweet of the week. Is there anyone under the age of 30 that hasn't sung a Burt Bacharach song?
I don't even know I don't even know what songs Burt Bacharach sang.
Exactly. Well.
Nice,
and I'm not under 30. So
under 30, there we go. So Burt Bacharach, the Bear, he loves his Burt Bacharach as well as Sunday night.
That's how you know. That's how you know you're really old, when you're like, the kids know who Burt Bacharach is, don't they? Anyone under 30. Try anyone under 60, Ian. Anyone under 60 probably doesn't know who Burt Bacharach is.
And to be fair, the only reason I know Burt Bacharach is because he was in the Austin Powers films.
The only reason I know it is because it's a recognizable name. Because I've heard the name mentioned before. I've never heard him sing, I don't think. And if I have, I don't remember it. I don't know any of the names of his songs or his albums or anything, but I've definitely heard the name Burt Bacharach.
Yeah, people know the name, but once again, I couldn't tell you a name. I know he's in Austin Powers. Can't tell you one of his songs.
I never liked Austin Powers.
Let's have a look here.
I did not laugh once in
I do
Austin
know.
Powers.
You wouldn't like that song "Walk On By." It's by Burt
Walk on
Bacharach.
by.
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Raindrops keep falling. Is that him?
Wait,
does he do covers though, or?
No, I think that's Burt. Like he's born in 1928. What's there to cover?
Well, there you go. So Ian thinks anyone under 30 is a relevant time frame for someone born in 1928.
To someone, here you go. Burt Bacharach's 60 Minutes archive. So the Bear would have loved the 60 Minutes with Burt Bacharach.
That's quality Sunday night viewing, Greeno.
Now we're talking. Damo, let's go to something we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Do you remember Glenn Kuiper, the A's announcer that had an unfortunate mispronunciation of a word, stumbled over a word, hadn't made a mistake on air in 25 years?
Can we just find that clip so we can give a little bit of flashback context to everyone? How do you spell his name? Kuiper? K-Y-P-E-R?
It's up on the screen, mate. Kuiper.
Right. I'm sure I can grab the video fairly quickly.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this guy's been with the A's for 20 years off memory. I think I read through the course of the week. And I know I was listening to a podcast about it earlier today. Here we go.
We had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum.
I love the guy beating his chest.
Dallas Braden.
We had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum.
Dallas refuses to open his eyes. He's like,
he does.
Did they go to
see what looks like he's doing like a bro fist pump to his heart. Mm-hmm. He's actually trying to give himself a cardiac arrest. He wants to drop dead right there.
Yeah.
We had a phenomenal day today. Nigger League Museum.
Okay, so he's the A's announcer.
That is obviously such just a misspeak when he's trying to refer to the Negro League Museum.
Yeah, because he would let's put your big brain adult, kind of
let's
hat
put your
on.
Big boy pants on here for a second and
think about. Do you think that someone would honestly, openly in 2023 on the fucking sport ESPN coverage? Do you think that they would honestly just sit there and openly say it? Like
intentionally, in a derogatory way.
In what universe? Do you think a media personality would do that? It's obviously a mistake.
A mistake. He was trying to say the word Negro and it came out wrong. There was a dude who said the word cock on air this week in a different baseball broadcast.
Yep.
didn't get fired.
It reminds me of, do you remember Carrie Bickmore, Greeno, from? Yeah. So Carrie
From
Bickmore, for those from
the project or whatever.
Yeah, she was on the project. She was. I think she got famous because she's mates with Rove McManus. But anyway,
No, she's not mates with her. She got to start on the Rove show.
yeah.
Like as like the news reporter, where they'd make dirty
That's
jokes and make a news
right.
reporter say it. Yeah.
So she, ended up being a host on this other show called The Project. And I remember that she mispronounced Qantas, the airline, because she was obviously reading the teleprompter, I can only assume. And Qantas is spelled Qantas, and she pronounced it Cuntas.
Yeah.
Now, she didn't lose it. She didn't lose her job. For that.
Andrew Gaze today, I know earlier this week, he misspoke on
Bounce, that AFL show.
On the Bounce show, said word dick or something on TV.
Ooh.
Obviously, just fumbled over a word.
Yeah.
Misspoke. This guy fired. 20 years. Thanks for your service. Wow. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird that people get upset about these things because it's like, we've heard, the current year meme, Greeno. Oh, you can't say that kind of thing in current year. Well, it is current year, believe it or not. And in 2023, you probably just fired off an angry tweet to the Oakland A's saying this person needs to be removed because of their disgusting, offensive behavior. And then as soon as you've done that, you're logging into Pornhub and watching rape porn or something,
100%.
You know what I mean? It's just weird.
I see a dude choke a bitch out. Like,
well, it's weird that people are offended by the things they're offended by.
They're really not offended by it. No. It's just like, you can't say that, and I'm going to fucking complain about it until something happens.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to know what happens there if actually, you got me thinking when you're talking about the Carrie Bickmore thing. If Flem was actually reading off a teleprompter.
Yeah.
Like imagine, once again, that would just further add to the argument. Like it's pretty obvious he just misspoke. But I'm pretty confident he was reading off a teleprompter as well.
Could have been.
And so once again, he's not sitting there going, "Hey man, that's a fucking M word to people."
Well,
he
maybe
just looked
then
at the
we
word
can
Negro and said it incorrectly.
What if there was a disgruntled employee who did put nigger on the fucking teleprompter?
Potentially, we don't know, man. But the dude
has
got
there
fucking
been an
lost his job.
investigation? Have we got to the bottom of this?
Well, apparently they looked into it and this is a sackable offense. If that is a sackable offense, you're going to need to fire everyone. NBC Sports California, because fucking that dude did nothing
wrong. Look at this. And even ESPN is just so goddamn fucking disingenuous. Oakland Athletics broadcaster Glenn Kuiper was fired by NBC Sports California after using a racial slur. That's not what happened. He didn't use a racial slur, though. He misspoke, and it sounded kind of like a racial slur. But he didn't. The word he said
is very similar to the word Negro.
Yeah, but using a racial slur denotes intent, does it not?
Intent. He wasn't saying with intent in any way. He was talking about what a good time they had at the Negro Lean Museum.
Yeah.
I was dumbfounded when I saw that he got fired this week. I'm like, look, they'll do the politically correct thing and try and slap him on the wrist, suspend him for a couple of games, and then he'll be back. When I saw he was fired, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me here.
Oh, my God. And see, you know what makes it worse? It's fucking idiots like this guy. Look at this Carlos Gill. Now, this is his response to this article, right? This is his response to this tweet, which is clearly disingenuous. Kitty B brings up a good point too. What about the lady who accidentally said it when she was reporting on Kobe Bryant's death? Do you remember that one?
No, I don't remember that one. But no one talks about Kobe Bryant being a rapist either. But apparently that's like can't say that now. He's dead. We can't insult the dead.
Now, but
a guy misspeaks, we've got to sack him.
If you want to see what moral peacocking looks like in 2023, this is what it looks like. Look at this reply.
Go to the dude that paid for the fucking blue tick.
Embrace this is his response to this clearly disingenuous piece here. Embrace unity, kindness, and respect. Our strength lies in celebrating diversity and eradicating hate speech Let love be our language, and together we'll build a world where equality reigns. The people who are so offended by these kinds of things on the internet, I think they're deluded Harry Potter
That
fans.
guy never actually watched what fucking he said.
No, this is a bumper sticker that he's
because
he has a
that
I
guy
call
was
it
talking
bumper
about what a
sticker
good time he had
opinions.
at the
Greeno.
Negro League Museum. The guy that just got fired was embracing equality.
Yeah, exactly. He went to the black museum, fucking baseball players museum. You know what I mean? Like he was like, it was fucking amazing.
He was
Everyone
like, we had
should
a
go
great
out
time.
there.
Dallas is fucking pumping his chest, closing his eyes.
Yeah.
They had a good time. He was embracing equality, but unfortunately, he stumbled over a word and now is fired for it. And you're talking about, oh, you're going to fucking embrace.
Eradicate, Greeno, he says, eradicate hate speech.
What hates? You fucking idiot.
Speech.
This dude didn't even see the clip. He has no context. He doesn't understand it. Anyway. I just want to fucking bring it up because it was a piggyback.
What took so long to make this decision?
Oh, fuck off. Once again, all these paid blue hashtags, man.
Oh, this is a good one. He didn't mean to say it on the air, but that kind of mistake is unforgivable.
How is it unforgivable?
He obviously used it. Listen to this. The problem with these people is their imagination is their reality, right? They talk about facts, but they don't really live in facts. Their feelings are their facts, and their imagination is what's real, right? Because it doesn't. I've told you, right, personally, like off air, many, many times. How many times have you heard me say, Greeno? It doesn't matter what you actually say to these people. They only hear what they want to hear.
They want to hear, yeah.
So don't waste your fucking time. Listen to this. Here's a prime example. He obviously uses the word in private, and it slipped out. How do you have the balls to just know that? You know, he obviously uses the word. He's still responsible. Imagine if a guy accidentally used the word bitch to describe a woman on air. No excuses. He's gone.
Let's use that. Let's use that tweet as an example, right? If you can tell me how you can stumble over a word woman and say bitch, but can stumble over a word that says Negro and how similar it sounds to the N word, there's a fucking big differentiation between the two.
That actually reminds me of one of my favorite, like old-fashioned, old-time jokes. It's where, a couple of guys are talking about Freudian slips. And one of them says something like, "Oh, I meant to say rake the leaves, but I accidentally said lake the reeves," something like that. And the guy goes, "Yeah, I know what you mean. I had the same thing this morning. I meant to ask my wife to pass the milk, but I ended up calling her a fucking cunt."
Yeah.
Nice, Gary.
So that's what this smacks of. But these people believe it. They think that's real. They don't think that. He obviously uses the word in private, and it slipped out. He obviously does. Obviously,
no, he obviously doesn't because he just.
Yeah, I'm sure he was using it at the Negro Museum.
Yeah, he's sitting there going, "Hey man, check out that nigga. It's unreal.
Man, that nigga can play.
He can play. Look at that. That's Satchel Paige, man. That nigga can fucking pitch." Very fucking stupid. And fucking hopefully Glenn, I think Glenn's fucking on the back end of his career anyway. So, unfortunately,
someone posted it again for us. Thank you. Here's the clip in case anyone
We had a
missed it.
phenomenal day today. Negro League Museum.
Negro League Museum.
Yeah.
We're talking about a slight enunciation in the middle syllable.
Yeah. I reckon most of these people are white too, the ones who are like,
100% they are,
thank
man.
God they sacked him. Thank God they got rid of him. We can't have this.
And they've never watched a fucking baseball game in their life. They don't
probably
give
true
one
as well.
fuck about the fact that Glenn Kyber. No one's watching the fucking A's this year anyway.
They wouldn't even know. They wouldn't even know who he was. Greeno. For them, it was just retweeting something and saying, "Good, another racist guy."
Yeah,
and that's the only engagement they had.
100%, mate. 100%. Let's move on from that. What do we got? A bit of Statman to finish up the show if we can, sir.
I'm a scat man.
NBA Finals are up and running. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. First time ever in the NBA Finals. Someone's talking about, who do you think of when you see certain logos? Someone's talking about Miami Heat. Someone posted Glenn Rice. I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. That's my first memory.
Dwayne Wade. I think
my first memory of Miami Heat.
well, Denver Nuggets, I think.
Denver
of
is
Dikembe
Dikembe Mutombo. Yeah, Mount Mutombo,
Not
baby.
in my house. Yeah.
Not in my house. Ooh, wait the finger. But at the moment, they just fucking dominated today. So well done to Denver Nuggets. Go 1-0 up against Miami Heat there in the NBA Finals.
Look,
but
I'm
yeah,
not
but
a Nuggets fan, but I'm happy for anyone to beat Miami most of the
well,
time in basketball.
I actually don't like Miami. Are fine, mate. Like, I got no qualms with Miami, but I do like
they've won it enough. They've won enough of them, you know. So
exactly. Well, Eric Spoelstra has had quite a large deal of success since taking over the team, and everyone go, oh, well, he had the big three, blah blah blah. But he's taken multiple teams after that don't have the same big players.
I have the same attitude.
Finals,
I have the same attitude with the Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, and
the Lakers have won enough.
Well, those three teams specifically have kind of been the ones that have won most of them in the last kind of 15, 20 years, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%.
I think like I'm okay now for the Bulls to win a couple again. Like you've had long enough
the Bulls
in the
back,
cold.
man. What are you talking about? No, 96 was their last one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So what I'm saying is, it's been long enough now for the Bulls to win again, and I won't. I'm not going to be like
Golden
you've
State
won
can
too many.
suck for another 20 years. And
Yeah,
we're
that's
all
right.
good.
Yeah.
The Lakers can suck forever for all I care.
Fuck the Lakers.
Fuck the Lakers. They can lose forever. I don't care. And look, Miami, I don't mind them winning, not so much for the team, because they've had such a big turnover. You know what I mean? If they were winning with a big three of like LeBron, Bosh, and Wade continuously, I'd be like, yeah, fuck them. But they're winning with like a new crew of like whole undrafted players, and they've just got a good grunty team.
It'd be a great story for
them.
It'd be a great story for the Nuggets though, because weren't they one of like the original teams back in the day, and they've never won shit or something? Like,
they were part of the ABA.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the kind of weird league that got amalgamated into the NBA, like with all the kind of second-rate teams, wasn't it?
Yes,
and so they've never won anything, have they?
They've never won it. This is the first time in the NBA Finals for them.
Yeah. Did they win any ABA shit or?
Oh, probably not.
No.
I think because it wasn't Philly the ABA off the top of my head.
Yes.
My basketball history is not as good as my baseball history, but
no, you're right. Philly was ABA.
I think Philly kind of used to dominate the ABA off the top of my head, but I could be wrong. So correct me, anyone in the chat.
Yeah, and then when they joined, they had obviously like the likes of Dr. Dre and stuff.
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre
again.
Dr. Dre.
That is obviously a fucking slip of the tongue.
like stories
Let's not
about
fucking fire. Let's
No,
not
don't
fire
worry.
Damo,
I didn't mean
shall
that,
we?
nigga. I meant the other one.
Julius Irving. That's right.
That's right. Dr. J.
Dr. J.
Dr.
correct.
Dre. Dr. Dre out there playing for the Phillies.
It's a mispronunciation.
Motherfuckers.
Well done,
Hell
sir.
yeah.
Freudian slip. It fucking fits perfectly in our last combo.
Now I just want to see Dr. Dre in a Philadelphia
in the 1960s with a fro.
Yeah, the socks pulled up to his knees.
Socks pulled up, short shorts.
Dr. Dre.
And has a part-time job on the side.
Fuck yeah.
So
on the back of his jersey, it just says chronic.
Nice. Saw the stat man throughout the course of the week and had to give it a fucking nice Gary. Pat Riley is, up before they made the finals. His 19th appearance in the NBA Finals as a player, coach, or executive. That is 19 times he's made it. Gary Riley has either played in, coached in, or has been in the team's top decision maker in 24.7% of every single NBA Finals made. A quarter of the time, Pat Riley's been involved, which is just amazing.
And he's not, he's also been involved in a lot of losing ones with New York and shit as well. So he's always been around there, hasn't he?
If you consider the ones that he was like,
he could have won.
Playoffs,
what I'm saying is, he could have won twice as many as what he did. Like he was always around the mark,
Well, it just goes to show how good he is. Yeah, he's involved and he picks the right teams. He was with the Lakers in the 80s.
Yeah.
He was with the Knicks in the 90s.
Yeah.
He was and he's been with the Heat for, I think, the better part of 20 odd years. So, in some way, shape, or form, as coach with D Wade and Shaq originally, and then moved kind of behind the scenes, and has been the decision maker there. And then obviously had the LeBron, D Wade Bosh thing.
Here's a question for you, Greeno. Who's the GOAT in NBA coaching? Is it Pat Riley or is it Phil Jackson?
Pat
Riley didn't have Michael Jordan, but he did have good players.
Out of those two, I still think Phil Jackson's the better coach.
Yeah, because he revolutionized what coaching is.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like the Wayne Bennett of NBA, isn't he? But that's not rugby league. Well, you know,
Exactly.
because some coaches run drills, and back in the day when all the coaches were doing drills, Wayne Bennett was the coach who would just talk to the players.
Yeah.
Like, he would just say things that would make the players play better, and they did, and they
Mm-hmm.
won. And I think
Yeah.
Phil Jackson's like in a similar vein to that, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, Phil Jackson like came in and learned how to manage egos.
Yeah, he's a motivator. Yeah.
Yeah, he was a people manager opposed to a game manager. Like, he was still a great game manager.
Yeah.
but
But
he-
not
he
like
knew
a
how to do
master
both.
tactician or anything, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't. Well, you didn't have to be a master tactician when you got fucking the best player ever. But
that's
he
it.
knew. But he knew how to go. Hey, Michael, I need you to fucking pass the ball.
Yeah.
And was such a motivator. He was able to convince Michael to pass the ball for the betterment of the team.
That's
so
right.
then Michael could still dominate. But
Because
you know, he had other
Jordan's
options.
first coach basically said to the whole team, just feed it, give it to Jordan. and
Doug
then-
Collins. It was give it to him, give it to him, give it to him, give it to him,
Yeah.
and then Michael would score 50, and they'd get knocked out in the first round
Yeah.
because
and
they
Phil-
knew like just
yeah.
fucking guard Michael.
That's right. And Jackson was like, no, you actually have to play as a fucking team if you want to win
the
championships.
triangle offense. Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic.
So yeah, but nonetheless, so well done to Pat Riley. That's an astounding effort.
Yeah.
25% of every single NBA finals has involved Pat Riley in some way, shape, or form. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So well done. No Shohei Statman this week. I see him.
No.
I feel like I'm missing.
We
missing
don't
my
have a
shit.
Shohei Statman, but we do have something from Jim Edward in the chat, Greeno, and I wonder if I can throw it up here.
Yeah, throw it up.
I'm trying to. Here we go. Let's open in browser. There we go. In 1917, so it is a stat man. This is sent through by Jim Edward.
Statman, Jim Edwards, Statman. I love it.
He said, and he said, let's see Hotani do this. In 1917, Ernie Shaw almost threw a perfect game with 27 consecutive outs, but he's
Oh, I did know this
only
one.
credited with a combined no-hitter because he pitched in relief of the starter Babe Ruth, who was ejected for punching an umpire after walking the lead off.
Yeah, I do know that stat. That's fucking one of the most amazing stats in the history of baseball. So yeah, so what we need is Otani to
Punch.
get thrown out.
Now, do we want Otani to punch someone? Or wait,
we
is
need to punch a
Otani
number.
Ernie Shaw or is Otani Babe Ruth? You know?
Well, we know. Well, Otani's got to be Babe Ruth, right?
Well, he could probably do both. He could probably
So we need
punch the guy
Otani to
out and then
start-
still pitch. You know?
Start the game pitching, and then have who are we going to do? We're going to get Berea out of the the pen
Out of the
to
pen.
come in and pitch no hitter
Yeah.
from there on in.
I think
Now, the thing
Otani
is-
needs to be the pitcher in that situation. We need to.
Well, no, Otani is the pitcher, but what I'm saying is, well, Babe Ruth was the pitcher as well.
No, yeah, but I mean, Otani has to be Ernie Shaw. So we need to get a pigeon
so
out
you're
there to
saying
punch him.
He's bettering the Babe.
Yes.
Because they're going to get some. They're going to have some other starter. They're going to get who they got going at the moment. Let's go. There's another starter. Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson's going to start. He's going to punch the ump before he gets an out. Otani's like, "Hey, coach, I'm ready to go,"
Yes,
and then he's going to get the next 27.
correct. That's what I want to see happen.
That may be the greatest stat man in the history of that one. I love that one.
Fantastic.
Ernie Shaw.
Jim Edward.
All right, that's our show for this week.
That's it.
I can hear the voice starting to give back out, so I'm going to wrap it up there.
You did well. tonight.
We've got no plugs. We'll be back next week. What are we at after missing last week? That's season 412.
Yep.
Check us out, Good Nod Life. Go back out and check the old podcasts. I saw someone talking to Tony Martin today on Twitter.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I love how you use old references. So I just fucking tweeted. I'm like, go fucking check out a Uni Day shit. Like, there's more. There's more out there. So anyone who's listening, go back and listen to old episodes. That'll help.
Not just the Unity Day shit. I mean, we opened the show talking about the fucking 90s today. You know,
True.
in no reference to Unity Day whatsoever. So every show, every episode of the show is a walk down
There's about
memory
a
lane.
dozen episodes where we just do movie reviews unintentionally
That's
because I
true.
happened to watch a movie from the 80s I hadn't seen.
Yes.
So plenty in there. So go back and listen to the old episodes. Like, we appreciate you listening to the current one. Go back to some old ones. Like our boy Stephen Babb, if you're still listening, because he is, like, he listens right to the arse end of a show.
Really? He must be the only one. I don't even listen to the end.
I haven't fucking listened to a show in years.
I haven't heard a word you've said for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I've been watching the footy.
Yeah.
Raiders won, by the way, 2019.
Oh, nice
Go back and listen to the old episodes, like the old shit, not like 6 months ago. No, go back and listen to some old stuff. It's all
shit.
as dumb as it is.
Get a random old one out of the
random old
archive.
one and find some comedy gold somewhere.
Yeah.
Because
Because we can't. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't find them. We don't know. Let us know if there's anything funny in there.
I
We'll
don't.
put it on a best of.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
If I call you uncouth,
it's simply that
who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the truth?